Good morning. I'm going to try this again. You guys might not know what that means. Is I've been trying to get more videos out, especially with the past week where I've been working on our Mahindra here, doing a bunch of work and repairs on that. But the problem I had with that is by the time I offloaded all my videos, I had like 4 hours of video, and trying to edit that down is taking ages. So let's try this again and see if I can't do this a little bit better. We have to get fencing going. We don't have a Mahindra right now, so we're going to be heading over to the hayfield. We're going to be cutting up a bunch of, well, what we call the hayfield. Sorry for the misnomer on that. What we're going to be doing is cutting up some wood that I left in there like 2 years ago or 4 years ago. I don't know. Getting some logs, so like some 10-foot logs to use as fence posts, and getting some rails off of those as well. And then anything that's smaller, we're going to be bucking that up into stuff to dry, or if it isn't dry already, for firewood. Holy shit, this is difficult. So that's what we're up to today. I just have to go ahead. These girls have been out since early this morning here, just because it's going to get so hot. They don't eat a lot when it gets really hot. I just got to go open their bottom gate, because I did open their top gate, but we got to open their bottom gate. So first thing I got to do in the morning is I got to get these horses fed, the boys out, and then we are going to be moving ahead with the day here. So I will see you guys in a brief minute. Run, Rodney! There he is. Hey, bro. Good morning, little buddy. Hi, bud. You're so handsome. Look at him. Look at him. Oh, you still... Yeah. We're going to get you guys your buckets this morning, because you're a little bit thin out there, bud. God, you're beautiful. Look at that guy. Look at him. Ooh. Hey. He's got dapples, though. Dapples is a sign of a healthy horse. Hey? No, he says. Ah. Hey, buddy. Good looking boys. Are you playing? There we go. Because it's so hot, we've got, I mean, this is the north side of the house, but still, sun's coming up way over here. Well, it's been up over here. So all the blinds to the house are closed. You don't want to let that sun come in and heat up the inside of your house. So we've sealed it all up. I have to go over to the case and I have to check out the ignition on this case quickly here so that we can order up a new ignition and key for this, so that maybe our alternator will actually start charging the battery and this thing won't be such a pig to start. So I'm gonna go ahead and find out what type of key this is in here so I can order up the right one, because we need this a little bit more reliable than it is. I just broke this air cleaner the other day, because in order to pop the hood on this stupid fucking thing, you got to pull that pipe, you got to pull that off. You've got to find some place to put them when you're standing up on this platform. Flip the hood forward, hook up to jumpstart the battery, because that key won't command the alternator to charge, because that key's fucked right out. And we've only had this tractor for what, like 5-6 months, and I'm already sick and tired of that. Well, I'm not going to be like that. I'm going to go ahead and replace that key, because I don't want to keep breaking stuff like that. I'm going to delete this when we go ahead and fix all this up, because I don't want to have to keep taking shit off when I got to open the hood. So hopefully I'll be able to route the exhaust out the side and up, and we'll just pull that off and put a standard, like, newer model case type of down intake on it, because these are just fucking annoying as hell when you got to get into the tractor. That is not the best place to put that, but where else are you going to put it? This wants to roll off every fucking time. But this is what we got to replace here. It looks like it's a 6-prong ignition. It should have on, glow, start, and then when you release it, it goes back to the on position. And it should command the alternator to charge, but because that thing is so fucked out. But yeah, it looks like it's a 6-prong. Okay. Hey, girls. Hi. Oh, come on. Hey, guys. What's up? Oh, cuties. This is the area that we're going to be putting our gate in that I'm working on right now. Did I mention that? I don't know if I did or not. Sorry, I thought I had a plan, but I don't. Anyways, you can see we got kind of a bit of a fence line right there that needs to go in. We got to bring a bit more fill to make a work. We got a bit more work to do there. And here's the corner right here. So this piece is going to come, that piece is going to come out. These rocks got to go back to the house for our driveway. But right across here, we're going to be putting in a big log type ranch gate. What it does is it just sort of helps increase sort of the rustic feel, because the old log barn and stuff is just right over the hill. I think you can start to see parts of it right there. No, that's a tree. We're also going to be pulling our gates out of this low section here, because this is going to fill up with water. We've still got a berm to go up all the way across here and all the way down that way. And move up to that point and then up in here somewhere, so that we are crossing on the high side and we won't be in this mud pit. Because some of the neighbors a couple of years back, they put a bit of gravel down actually right there. The problem is they put it down when the ground was wet, and there's so much water under here, because this actually has water that runs from one of our well sites right here. We've got a well site right there. It runs down underneath the road and out into this field. So you can never build anything on this. That's why there's a low spot right there. Doesn't matter what you do, that's always going to sink out. So we don't want to be crossing sheep here. You see I got a manure pile there. I don't want to be driving in there with the dump truck to dump manure. I've already sunk in that spot once. And these 10-foot gates are a little bit narrow, so we're going to put 16s up there. That's enough of that. Let's get to work. So I got nearly all my kit. I forgot a tripod. All I got is that stick. So we're not going to be filming too much work here from down here. That's an old slash pile. Our new slash pile is going here. So we're going to take those stumps at some point with the grapple on the skid steer, shake the dirt off, put them on top of this one. This is firewood, this is firewood, this is firewood, this is firewood, that's firewood, 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 firewood. There might be a rail in this one, there's firewood there. We're going to cut the firewood up into firewood lengths. You can see Mom's been dropping off stuff as she's been cleaning out and thinning out the forest over there and limbing it up. When she comes in with the quad, we're going to load her up with firewood. She can take it over to the splitter and we're good to go. There's another pile of firewood right there. There's another couple slash piles that all need to come into here. There's a slash pile that needs to come over to here. We'll do that when the sheep mow this down. Our job today is to get these firewood here sort of into this pile. We'll leave that for now. I mean, I could do that too. And then we need to get our rails and our posts out of this group. There's another group over there, and there's sort of our fire guard access road on the side there. So that's all we're doing today. There's also 2 more logs right over there by the manure pile. We've got to get those sorted out and back here. But that's enough chit chat. Let's get safety kit on and get to work. So I don't know if I mentioned this, but the reason why we're going to do our log gates now with the tractor down is because we're going to cut the big logs, bark them, treat them, and then we're going to use the skid steer to dig the holes and then set them in, and that'll give us 60 feet of fence line that needs to be done anyways while the tractors are down. We can't use the case. It doesn't have brakes. It's not really reliable. It needs hydraulic oil changed on it. It needs engine oil changed on it, so it's not a super reliable tractor to be using. We can't park it on the hill to do the post pounding, even though it's gonna be the dedicated post pound tractor. At least it's moving forward on fences until I can get parts in. Dig it? I dig it. I need new gloves. Safety first. I need new chaps too. Got one right there. The fabric's still in there, so we're good, but Just imagine that a bunch more times over here. So I got a bit of stuff chopped up here. Cleaned up that mess, cleaned up some of this. I didn't bring a tape measure to measure my 11 foot. So all the rails are 11s because we're gonna do 10-foot gap. I might do 11.6 just because it doesn't hurt to have extra. Pile of wood there, not very big. I'm gonna leave this exactly as it is. Oh, sorry, wiping my face. Because I foresee something, maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure if I'll just pick that up with the tractor or just buck that up there. I think I'll buck it up there, fuck it. Fuck it, let's clean it up right. We'll leave that log and that log for later. I'll go grab that and drag it over to these ones. Guess I'll go cut up my firewood because what else can I do? I can't just run home and grab my tape measure. Unless I got one in my bag here. Negative, fuck. I went and got my tape measure. I actually got one that goes into my work pack and I forgot to grab my work pack because this is the first time we've been to this side all year. Those logs are cut to their 12, 13. I guessed on one and cut it to 13 and I cut the other one to 12 because it doesn't hurt to have a little longer. I'm gonna go ahead and buck up this firewood pile. No, that's all cleaned up. That is full of ants. We're just gonna toss that either into that burn pile or that burn pile and it can be dealt with later. This is probably sitting out. I got a bunch more piles out there that have been sitting for too long, so whether this is all usable or not, I don't know. It's good for outside fires, I guess. So that's fine. Outside fires, campfires, most of this is okay. Some of this is not great, but and that side's done. So I'll get this dealt with in a minute here. And then now it's time to tackle this mess here. This has only been here since last year. We're gonna go ahead and start limbing this. This was kind of a problem last year because it was all bushy green. So coyotes were hiding in this, which was my mistake. But I think, shit, this is gonna be just a fucking mess. I'll tell you right now, this is a fucking mess. I just drug it out with the Mahindra and shoved it here. So yeah, that's actually attached to a tree. Fuck. Oh God, I'll start with the top one in the middle there. Then I'll work with this one. That's a nice one for a gate post. Like a big, tall gate post. I don't know how I'm tackling this shit. Fuck. Oh fuck, what do I got up here? Oh, fucking hole. This is more stuff to burn. This stuff isn't that bad. Aspen burns really hot and fast, leaves a lot of ash, which is good if you need ash. Bad if you're, yeah, it cleans the chimney really nice though, because the ash stays down below and it doesn't send any creosote up. But it burns super fast, like really, really fast. Not good to put a log on and leave it warm overnight. Looks like I got 2 here in this little slash pile here that needs to be trucked out. Fuck, okay. And there's a stump that needs to be dealt with. Okay. I might tackle some of these. And then I got 2 big logs over there I got to deal with. Get gas in it. Notice something different? Flip the bar every time you sharpen it, we put gas in it. That's too loose. So we've gone ahead and all the bark branches I cut off of these, I've taken them over to the slash pile. There's one thing I didn't mention, why we got the slash pile in the middle, because I don't know when I'm going to get around to burning this, and I don't want to put a slash pile in the trees, because if we have a forest fire come through, ashes can be blown for up to 4 kilometers and still hot. So if we've got a fire way up on the mountain back there, and we get an ember blown into these dry piles, this could light up even though we're not burning here. If these are tucked into the trees, they could take the trees up. Yes, an ember could light the trees and burn everything and you're fucked, but this is more prone to light up than a tree. So I'd rather just have it out in the open. Plus, when we go to start this and light this up, there's going to be huge heat. So that one back there, you see how far it is from those trees? It actually, you can sort of see this tree's got some burn on it, because that's how hot that pile was. So that's why they're out in the open like that. And we also need ash into this soil. This is it needs the ash added to it really bad. It's really mossy, acidic, I think. So we need to add some base material, base pH material. So that's why that's going to be good, because that's a really mossy spot that we got to get some better change of pH in. So I'll finish this stuff up in a bit. I think it's time to go get a drink. I didn't bring that with me. We did a lot of work right there, and we did a lot of work right here. So we'll call that good for now. I definitely need something to drink. The truck was telling me it was 27 degrees, so we're going to go get a drink because we don't need to heat stroke out like I did last year. So we'll be back out onto this. I want to get this sort of buttoned up here in the next 2 days, today, tomorrow. Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll start barking out the posts if I can get all the posts, because they're the ones we got to treat. The rails aren't in the ground, so you don't need to treat them. We are going to use a linseed oil. So I'm going to take and I'm going to burn the bottom of the posts. I'm going to test that. I've never done it before. So we're going to do that for the post ends that are in the ground. And then the posts that are out of the ground, we're going to hit that with linseed oil. And same with the rails. I'm going to hit that all with a linseed oil as well. I'm hoping that will treat them up good enough and make them look really nice. We'll see. I've never done this before. Any log gateways I've done, like at the barnyard, I just left them natural and didn't give a shit. So we'll see what happens there. And same with the rails that are doing all this fencing, the top cross rails. None of them are treated at all, and they last about 9 to 10 years, and then you can cut them up and burn them because they're just untreated logs. So anyways, I'm going to start getting back home now because this wind is coming in and this shade is really nice and I definitely need a drink. So we're back from lunch and getting a drink and cooling off here. I've got 3 logs right here that need to be dealt with. These were kind of tests when I was hooking up a winch to the tractor. And one was just one that I dumped in here for the sheep to eat. So we're going to go ahead and get whatever the heck is usable off of these. I need 6 big ones, 6 short ones, and then 2 tall ones for our big over the thing deal. Well, that's gonna work out pretty okay for a nice, fairly straight big post that becomes one of the parts of that. It does taper quite a bit at the top, but that's acceptable. We're not worried too much about that. We got a rail out of that that's not super uniform. I usually like them fairly, but we can still probably use that. A little bit of firewood there. This one here is probably, if I can nip off right where that corner or that curve, I've probably got a post in there and then a rail from here down, and then this one here is probably a rail on this end, and then the rest is cut up to burn because it's a bit of a, so yeah, there might be something from that point over. We'll see. We might get 2 out of it. Hard to say. I know I can keep that weird Y thing, but there's a lot of Y trees around here, so we're not going to worry about it. I got the big one that was hidden in the grass. I didn't film that because it was hidden in the grass too much. You can see we doubled our wood pile. I got 2 11-foot sections out of it. Worst case, if these are too big and too twisted to use as rails for our mortise and tenon joints on the gateway that goes with this, I can use these at the sheep and horse holding the sacrifice pens over at home. So they're not going to go to waste, or they can become firewood. That's a lot of firewood already, because we got that, and then we've got a pile there, and then we got a pile here and a pile there. So it's quite a bit. I mean, it's not a lot, but it's a good amount. And we're cleaning this up. So that's one of the big posts. We're gonna have to come back and hit these with the debarker, which I actually have in the truck. We can look at it right now, to smooth all this out. And then 7 feet into the ground with 14 feet out. That's the plan. Hopefully that works that way. I don't know. Here's the debarker on the end of this little saw here. That's what we're going to use to take all the bark off of these. So far I've got 6 rails. I need 16, and I've got 2 of the short posts, and I need 8, and I have 1 of these big posts and I need 2. So I haven't figured out my top rail yet, so we're not going to worry about that just yet. And we have more stuff here. And that's from doing our fire guard road access. Not really a guard, it's more of an access. But you can see where we are. That's where where it was way up there. That's where we were this morning, and that's what we were working on. These are almost ready to go. And I can definitely see, I think I got a post right here. And I've got maybe, this one's too swervy. This one looks a little bit swervy. I can definitely get some rails for the house containment pens, but I might be able to get a post out of this, a rail out of this one, a rail out of this one, a rail out of that one for this project here, and a rail out of that one. So I just realized I also have 2 rails sitting there, so we technically have 8 rails, so we need 8 more. Oh, and then I need some short 5-footers too. So technically 2 10-footers. So 10 more. But I'm not worried about that too much. This is all, I'm still trying to figure this out because I've never done a fence this way. Well, like I have, but I haven't, but not on this scale. So hopefully we can figure it out. And that's all firewood too. I should start chopping this up. Shoot, son, look at all that. This is all firewood. This stuff was all too small that came off of this when we cleared this. This all needs to be cleared because we got to get the backhoe in here and start cutting level across to make an access road. Because when this easement turns into a fucking mud pit, we still want to be able to get to the back, and this is all bedrock through here. So this will be just like the pimpiest fucking super highway we ever had. So we're gonna get that going. Oh, there's more stuff. Damn. Okay. Well, I might go take a look at this pile and see what I got for the big post. Maybe, I don't know. I'll see you guys in a minute. Well, it all needs to be done, so I don't even know where to start. It all needs doing. Good for now. That's a lot of video if I still got space. So I got a bit more of that cleaned up and stuff, but it's getting way too hot. It's pretty late here. So I went up to this slash pile up here because I had some logs in front of it. It's all rotten, so I just cut it up to scoop up with the skid steer eventually. This is going to be easier here to do if I grab like a trailer and throw everything, all the branches onto the trailer and dump it off, because it's that trucking back and forth, and you can only cut a little bit before you're tangled. So that's going to be a bit of a work there. I was hoping to have my rails or my post done, but I'm not too worried about it right now. I want to get that pile in the middle out of here and cleaned up, just because it's sitting on the grass and I'd rather have the grass growing or something. I don't know, it's too fucking hot to think here. Then there's this pile of stuff, and I was gonna start cutting into this, but I wanted to see what I could get out of that first, but I can't get into that. And then I was like, oh, I could just cut up my firewood here, but I want to see where I start putting a pile out from that for firewood, because I'm not gonna keep trucking it over to that little pile there. So I'm kind of at an impasse. I might go check out here on my way out. I need to find the two big gate pieces first. The 14-foot tall things. We're gonna go 14 feet clearance from our gate floor, like our gate roadway, to the top of the where the beam goes across, because that should clear most semis. We used to have 14-foot clearance on a lot of our bays when I was driving truck, so it should work, except for the coil tubing truck needed like a 20-foot clearance. But that should be fine. So I gotta find a beam that goes across, a beam that's down. I'm not sure how I'm starting any of this. This is all new. I'm rambling. Let's deal with the rest of this later. I'm getting too hot for this shit. So I'm gonna just drive home. We got lots done after lunch anyways. We got that front stuff. I'm waffling. I'm done here. I'm done. I'm fucking done. And then there's this stuff here that we just did. So that's pretty good for now. We'll call it done. Oh, I've got this pile of logs here I can choose a big gateway from. I think that one right at this end there is one of them. So we'll figure that out later.